Well, we've been considering considering probability distribution, and now we're going to begin to take a look at how to analyze probability distribution. And there's two of the most common statistics that are used to analyze a discrete probability distribution are the mean, or the expected value, and standard deviation. And so we're going to begin by looking at expected value. And so expected value of a discrete random variable of a probability distribution is the weighted average of the variable. So it's a mean, but it is the mean of the weighted average of that variable. And so let's look at an example here and see if we can't make a little bit better sense of what this expected value is. So I'm actually on page 745 in your textbook. We're looking at example 4. And this is the guided practice problem in that example. You've got one above that where they have worked it out and spelled it out for you, but we're going to do this one here for this demonstration. So here's what we've got. We've got Kurt. So we're told that Kurt won a ticket for a prize. The distribution of the values of the tickets and their relative frequencies are shown. Find the expected values of his winnings. So and I've reproduced this table. So there are 5,000 tickets that are worth $1. And then so we got 5,000, there's 5,000 tickets and they're worth $1. And if you continue with that, then there's 100 tickets that are worth $10. There's 25 tickets worth $100. There's 5 tickets worth $1,000. There's one ticket worth $5,000, and there's one ticket worth $25,000. And so what we're trying to find is, well, what's the expected value? What is the weighted average of the chance of a winning ticket? And we find that by this formula right here. So here we got E, which is the expected value of the discrete random variable. X is the discrete random variable. And it equals the sum of the discrete random variable times its probability, the probability of that particular variable. That's the mathematical definition of expected variable. Now, I'm going to try to use an Excel spreadsheet to help us compute what the expected value is for Kurt, the prize that Kurt may win with a winning ticket. And we're going to look at that in the next slide. Okay, so here I am over here on this Excel spreadsheet. And I'm going to confess to you, I'm not a great, strong user of Excel spreadsheets. It's not one of my strengths in terms of some of the Office 365 programs, but I do think it's important, particularly for you, and because when you go into the workplace, there's a lot of very, very many applications for Excel spreadsheets. Now, if you look at what I've got here, I've gone ahead and built in my headings of my columns. I've got frequency, the value of the discrete random variable, the probability distribution, and then lastly, we're going to finish off with the expected value. So let's begin to fill in our table. And I'm first going to just take this straight from the table that we saw on the previous slide. So I got a 5,000 frequency. There's 5,000 tickets. Another one was 100. And I'm just entering the data. 25, 5, 1, and 1. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put in the value of X. So there was 5,000 tickets that are worth $1. There was 10 tickets that would pay out $100. There's 100 tickets that'll pay out $10, excuse me. There's 25 tickets that'll pay out $100. There's 5 tickets that are going to pay out $1,000. And let's see, there's one ticket that's going to pay out $5,000. and one ticket that's paying out $25,000. Now, in order to get my probability distribution built, I've got to determine what's the total number of winning tickets. I mean, I've got 5,100, 25, 5, 1, and 1. Well, that's all well and good, but I need to get the total amount of these tickets. And so I'm going to highlight, if you see where I've got this highlighted right here, then I can just scroll down, go to the next empty cell, which is that cell 8. And if I come up here to the home page, you see auto sum. I ought to be able to click on that. And that has totaled all these values right here from 5,000 down to 1. And so there's a total number of winning tickets of 5,132. Now with that information, I can begin to start building my probability distribution. Now, I want my probability distribution, I want it to contain data in a certain way. And so I'm going to highlight all of this and then right click. And then I'm going to go to Format Cells. You see right here where I scroll down here to Format Cells. And I want it to be a number. And some of this may be off the screen. I think it will. But I'm going to choose to go to 4 decimal places. I should have made my screenshot just a little bit bigger, but that's okay. And I'm going to click OK. And so now I'm going to begin to start entering in this data. All right, and so there's one ticket. Let's see, I'm going to go, yes, 1 ticket divided by 5,000. Enter. No, did that wrong. Let me go back up there. I'm going to delete that cell. Okay, there's 5,000 tickets out of 5,132 tickets that are going to pay $1. And so there's a 97.4% probability that I'm going to draw a $1 ticket. So I'm going to continue on with that. There's 100 tickets out of 5,132. That's why I had to total up my number of tickets. Okay, so there's probability distribution of that of 0.0195. There's 100. There's 25 tickets out of 5,132 that are going to pay out $100. There's 5 tickets out of, and I'm hitting the little division sign, 5,000 out of 5,132 that are going to pay $1,000. There's 1 ticket out of 5,132 that's going to pay out $5,000, and there's 1 ticket out of the 5,132 tickets that are going to pay out $25,000. So here I've got my probability distribution. Now, to begin to start working on my expected value, I'm going to complete this part of the formula, which is this column, the value of x, my discrete random variable, times these individual probability distributions. And so I'm going to hit equal, and then I'm just going to simply click on this cell right there. You see it kind of highlighted. And I'm going to hit the asterisk for times. And then I'm going to click on the cell here for probability distribution, and I'm going to hit enter. All right. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. Let's see if I can, might be able to scroll this down. Get the little plus sign there, scroll it down to here. Oh, go right here to this one. And you see when I did that, when I highlighted this cell right here and scrolled it down to the end of this cell, it computed all those values for me. Now, that's what that's giving me is what the value is, or the probability distribution of that value. But I want to get the sum of that. So let's see, what do I want to do? I'm going to hit equal sum, and then I'm going to highlight. I don't even have to do that. Let's go back up here. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to just highlight all of this, bring this down to this empty cell, hit auto sum, and you can see here that I get $8.40, if I round that, about $8.48. So this is my expected value of X, is $8.48. Now, what does that tell me? If I buy a ticket, or if I get a ticket, the probability is I'm going to earn somewhere between $8.48. Now, there was no value of $8.48. One of the important things about expected value is that mean does not have to be a possible value. This is just kind of giving me an idea of what each ticket, what the winning value of a particular ticket may be worth. So I hope that gives you a little bit of insight there as we're looking at and how to use Excel to calculate expected value. Now we can also use our calculators to do expected value, and I'm going to use it on the next example where we're looking at expected values, both expected values and standard deviation.